I want to tell you something that nobody tells you when you're young. Nobody puts it on a poster. Nobody writes it in a graduation card. Nobody stands up at a ceremony and says it out loud. But it is the single most important truth I have ever learned in my entire life. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the path to it. I want you to think back right now. Think back to the worst moment of your life. Not a bad day, not a rough week. The worst moment. The one that kept you up at 3 in the morning staring at the ceiling. The one that made you question everything, your choices, your talent, your future, maybe even yourself. Got it? Hold on to that moment, because by the time we are done here today, you are going to see that moment completely differently. When I was 30 years old, I was fired. Not from some side job, not from a company I barely cared about. I was fired from Apple, the company I built, the company I had poured every single ounce of my life into since I was 21 years old. I had just turned 30. Apple was a $1 billion company. And the board decided they did not want me anymore. I did not know what to do. I felt like I had failed, publicly, completely, humiliatingly. I felt like I had dropped the baton in front of the entire world, and everyone had seen it happen. I thought about running away, literally leaving everything behind and starting over somewhere. Nobody knew my name. For months, I was completely lost. And then something happened, something quiet, something that did not announce itself with a trumpet or a revelation or a lightning bolt from the sky. I realized, slowly, painfully, reluctantly, that I still loved what I did. I still loved building things. I still loved the electricity of an idea becoming real. I still loved the moment when technology and humanity collide and something beautiful is born. Apple had fired me, but they could not take that, and so I got back up. Here is what nobody tells you about failure. Failure is not an event. It is not a moment in time. It is not the day you got rejected, or the day the business closed, or the day the relationship ended, or the day you looked in the mirror and did not recognize the person staring back. Failure is a teacher, the hardest, most brutal, most unrelenting teacher you will ever have in your life. And unlike every other teacher you have ever had, it does not give you the lesson before the test. It gives you the test first. And then, only if you are paying attention, it gives you the lesson. Most people fail the test and walk away. They take the pain, they take the embarrassment, they take the wound, and they carry it with them forever. They let it define them. They let it shrink them. They spend the rest of their lives making themselves smaller, so they never have to feel that feeling again. Do not do that. Please, do not do that. I want to talk about what failure actually does to you. When you let it, when you stop fighting it and start listening to it, it strips away everything that is not real. Think about that. When everything is going well, when the money is coming in, when people are clapping for you, when the plan is working, you can hide behind all of it. You can hide behind the title, behind the success, behind the version of yourself that the world wants to see. But failure takes all of that away. It leaves you with just yourself, your raw, unfiltered, undecorated self. And that is terrifying, and that is also the greatest gift you will ever receive. Because when everything is stripped away, you find out what you are actually made of. You find out what you actually care about, not what you said you cared about, not what looked good on paper, not what your parents wanted or what your friends expected, what you care about. After Apple fired me, I started 2 companies, Next and Pixar. Neither of them was supposed to work. Everyone told me Next was too ambitious, too expensive, too ahead of its time. Multiple people told me to my face it would fail. Pixar was a tiny computer graphics division that most people thought was a toy. Nobody believed an animated movie could be made entirely by computers. Nobody believed audiences would care. Toy Story became the highest grossing film of 1995. And the technology we built at Next became the foundation of every Apple product you use today. The failure that felt like the end of my story was actually the beginning of the best chapter of my life. I just could not see it yet. I want to be honest with you right now. I am not standing here telling you that failure does not hurt. It does. God, it does. I am not telling you it is easy to get back up. It is not. I am not telling you everything happens for a reason and the universe has some perfect plan laid out for you. Maybe it does, maybe it does not. What I'm telling you is this: the pain of failure is real, and the choice of what you do with that pain, that choice is also real. You can let the failure become your identity. You can become the person who almost made it, who tried once and got hurt and decided the risk was never worth it again. Or you can let the failure become your fuel. There is a version of you sitting on the other side of a failure you have not had yet. And that version of you is going to be tested completely without mercy. You are going to lose something you love. You are going to bet on yourself and have the world tell you that you were wrong. You are going to pour everything into something: your time, your money, your pride, your identity, and watch it fall apart. And in that moment, the entire world is going to go quiet. And in that silence, there will be a voice. And that voice is going to say, "See, I told you. You were not good enough. You were not smart enough. You should have played it safe. You should have stayed small." Do not listen to that voice. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is fear, wearing the costume of reason. And that voice has killed more dreams than failure ever has. The people who change the world are not the people who never fail. They are the people who fail completely, spectacularly, publicly, and get back up anyway. Abraham Lincoln lost 8 elections before he became President of the United States. 8. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because his editor said he lacked imagination. Walt Disney lacked imagination. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he invented the working light bulb. And when a reporter asked him how it felt to fail 10,000 times, he looked at that reporter and said, "I did not fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that do not work." That is the mindset. That is the only mindset that matters, not "I failed," but "I learned," not "it did not work," but "now I know something I did not know before," not "I am not good enough." But wait, I am not done yet. Here's the thing about getting back up that no one ever talks about. It does not require confidence. It does not require certainty. It does not require a sign from the universe that this time it will work. It requires only one thing: the decision to try again. That is it. That is the whole secret. The decision. Made in the dark. Made when nobody is watching. Made when you are exhausted and scared and you have every logical reason in the world to stop. The decision to try again. I got fired at 30. I got back up. I built Pixar, and next. I failed in 100 different ways along the way. I got back up every single time, and at 52, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I sat with that. I sat with my own mortality in a way most people never have to. And what I found, sitting in that silence, was clarity. Clarity about what matters, clarity about what does not. Clarity about the fact that the time we have, the time you have, is the most precious and non-renewable resource in existence. And you can spend it being afraid of failure, or you can spend it living. Your time is limited. Do not waste it living someone else's life. Do not be trapped by the results of other people's thinking. Do not let the noise of the world drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart even when it leads you somewhere that terrifies you. Even when it leads you off a cliff. Even when it leads you into the dark, because sometimes the cliff is exactly where the wings are. And the dark is exactly where you find out who you really are. Stay hungry, stay foolish, and never ever stop getting back up.